Solarian Games.
He's Jason. I'm Peter.
You're supposed to go first. Wait, do I go
No,
first?
you go first because J comes
Okay.
before P.
We're the incredibly professional partners of Solarian Games who, after 78 episodes, that's right, this is number 78, still haven't gotten it figured out yet.
Right. 78 in a row, mind
In a
you.
row, we have not missed a week, have we?
Nope.
All
Not
right.
through sickness, not through travel, nothing.
Nothing. All right. So the stories tonight are Die Hard inspired D&D one-shot turns the real world Nakatomi Plaza into an Archmage's Tower. The $1 million RPG maps bundle scam. Make your own articulated RPG game ruler. Wait till you see what that means.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
A steamy new D&D novel flirts with the extremely popular romantasy genre, and that is nothing to do with the Amish. And Stranger Things 5 fails their history roll.
Yeah.
All right, let's get started. Oh, before we start into these, a couple of quick announcements. We will be at the Philadelphia Area Game Expo. That's page 3, this Thursday. It's going to be this week.
Yeah.
So,
oh my God, a couple days, man.
Yeah, come and find us in the main vendor area. We'll be right between Pace Setter and Black Oak Studios and next to a whole bunch of our friends. So that'll be great. And Peter, you're going to be running some demos.
Mm-hmm. So I'm going to have more blood set up, a little board, just enough for two people to bang it out. I mean, if two people come up and want to play it, I could do three people in there, but it's basically just a couple of rounds to play.
You might not be able to fit three people. That's a little tight.
Well, no, three, me, counting me. Like, or I could just have the two of them fight each other. Whatever, it doesn't matter. Yeah. It'll be like a little board where you can do a couple of rounds of combat, playing more blood, so you can just get a feel for it and see what it's like. So it should be kind of cool. I built a new board for it today, which I'm going to print out tomorrow, which we'll put on the table. So it'll be kind of cool.
For anybody who doesn't know, More Blood is the next product we have coming out as soon as the Tradecraft manual ships to its backers in March. We will be doing a backer kit for More Blood, which is an incredibly cool new game. Come and see it at Page and as well as TotalCon and Rising Phoenix Con. Come and see it wherever we are and get some demos of that. It's really fun. And also, speaking of conventions, we have our own convention, ModCon, coming up on May 30th. The 10th of January was supposed to be the date for the tickets to go on sale. However, it's our first time using tabletop events. And so behind the scenes on the weekend, we got confused by things with Stripe. And I don't know. Anytime you use Stripe for payment processing, there's always something weird that happens. And so something weird happened, and they're asking us to confirm something that we can't fix until Monday. So we'll put the tickets on sales as soon as we talk to Stripe.
Look, I know all of you watching this show have had this happen at least once in your life, where you go on and you try and resolve something on an internet site, like a website, an internet site on a website, and you're trying to go through their system and you get sent in this loop. Yeah. Here, sign this thing. I sign this thing. Okay, but you got to sign this thing. But I signed the thing, and the thing is signed, and it's okay. Sign it, but sign the thing. And it's like, oh my God, what the hell? And then you try and reach the company, and they're impossible.
Yeah. So I don't know how Stripe became so embedded all throughout the internet, but it's ridiculous because we work with a lot of different companies when it comes to doing things that involve sending us money. And every single time you work with another company, Stripe makes you create another account. I don't know. It's going to be really boring for people to listen to our tales of tech support. So let's just say we'll get the tickets on sales hopefully on Monday, and we'll let everybody know.
One more thing we forgot to talk about before the show that we need to mention is this is we're coming down to the wire on submitting games for the Golden Fez. So if you got a game for the Golden Fez, we're going to have to close the door on that really soon. And we got some people. We could use a couple more, though. We would like a couple more.
Yeah. Last year, we closed the door on December 31st. We're keeping it open a little bit longer, but we are closing the door. So if you want your games or your friends' games or just the games that you love to be considered for a Golden Fez, get them in.
We send people a plaque. It's nice. It's beautiful. I mean, it's a real deal. It's not just some piece of paper or some words or something. They get a thing they can hang on the wall.
Yeah. This year, we're sending 5-pound gold bars.
Right. Yeah.
No, we're not. We're not. All right. Let's get to the first story. Die Hard. Tell us about it. What's up?
All right, so there is a Dungeons and Dragons one-shot adventure titled "One Shot to Die Hard" for. Very crafty, I like it, and it's designed by Red Cap Press, and it looks really cool. So the idea is they took the concept of the Die Hard movie, and it's funny, we found this story out a little too late because it would have been awesome to have the story on Christmas. But anyway, it's a heist where the party of level 3 adventurers must rescue hostages from mercenaries led by a criminal mastermind during the winter solstice celebration. So there's an archmage named he has his Nakatomi's Tower with a map based on the real world Nakatomi Plaza building from the film. So that should be a lot of fun. A dungeon crawl. Well, I guess is a tower crawl, like a dungeon crawl.
Yeah, I mean look, just think of it as a dungeon that goes the other direction.
right. The upside down dungeon. Anyway, no, sorry.
Yeah,
mixing stories here. But here's the beautiful part, though. This is what's really fun. The players start with no gear and no prep spells. So you're just like John McClane in that, he didn't even have his shoes on when the action begins.
Right.
So you have to gather
famously.
Right. You have to gather resources, which would include, I guess, components. I'm wondering if they have like components hidden throughout the tower, so they'd be like, oh my God, I need that for my spell, and I got that. Oh, great! Now I can cast.
That'd be perfect.
Yeah. I said it's non-linear, featuring functional elevator shafts and ventilation ducts for stealthy movement.
So I'm interested in how the functional elevator shafts work in a fantasy environment.
Yeah, I mean, it could be like dumbwaiters or something. I mean, I've seen a bunch of modules where they have like an elevator type thing.
Okay. I've never actually encountered one.
Oh, really? Okay. And then, so some of the neat stuff that's in here is the Easter eggs. Like the villain is named the Hands, a nod to Hans Gruber.
Yep.
And various modern weapons are reimagined like magic items, like fireball putty and runic siege tubes.
I'm guessing a runic siege tube is ho ho ho. Now I have a
runic siege tube too, right?
Yeah. I only found out recently. I don't know. I'm so behind on the lore of the real film that when help me, because my brain is melting and I forgot Hans Gruber's real name. The actual Alan Rickman.
Alan Rickman, yeah.
Oh my gosh, how could you forget Alan Rickman? You cannot. But anyways, I did not know until recently that during that famous scene where Hans Gruber falls to his death, they in fact did not tell Alan Rickman that he was going to be falling.
Oh,
That's why it looks so. Or when he would be falling.
Yeah, when he'd be falling, right? Yeah,
it's why it looks so real, because they betrayed him, so that the look of betrayal on his face is absolutely real. He's mad at them.
Right? It's like, we're gonna count to 3 and let you go. All right, 1, and they let go.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, yeah. So this can be found digitally on indie platforms like itch.io and DriveThruRPG.
And Nick Seidler in the chat says ventilation shafts eek.
Yeah.
Which now, gives, as we know in real life, you can't actually crawl through the ventilation shafts.
God, no, it's impossible
for so many reasons. They wouldn't even.
So many reasons. Yeah.
I mean, I just went and repaired the gutter on my house, which is made of pretty much the same stuff. That's like paper. You know?
It won't hold you. Plus, they drive screws into things, so there'd be screws and stuff sticking up everywhere. They're dirty as hell, always, especially in a big old building like this. And they're almost never that big, like maybe right at the very beginning. But like when it gets into a room, they shrink down. I used to design these for a living, and they shrink down real fast. So
it would be great if in this they really did have all those problems, so that you had to overcome it through some kind of shape changing or mist form or something like that.
That would be cool.
That would be cool. But I don't know what they've done.
This brings me back to, I just want to mention, I do like a throwback. A couple of years ago, we did Top Secret Die Hard.
Right. We had another name for it other than Nakatomi Plaza.
I can't remember what it was.
I forgot to.
Yeah, but anyway, I did. It was BJ Hensley, Daniel Marshall, Linda, aka the Gamer Girl.
Yep.
And Mark Hunt played.
Yeah. And this was one that was designed by James Carson.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Maybe we could go back and see if it's ever worth actually releasing. If we could scratch off the serial numbers well enough
We probably
to
could
do
figure out
that.
something like that. Yeah,
It was a
we probably
lot
could.
of fun.
It was a good one.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that's it for the diehards.
All
This
right.
next story is really this is disturbing to me.
Yeah. Well, I mean, disturbing but not surprising, right?
Oh no, not surprising at all, but
All right.
very
So
the intricacy of this.
So I first of all like this is the $1 million RPG maps bundle scam. So there's all of these sort of I always just call them humble bundles because that was what the original one was called, but they're just called bundles.
Mhm.
And you bring together a whole lot of different things, usually PDFs that people can get for one low price, sometimes for charity, sometimes just because it's a good deal. The person who wrote up the thing, I just like their disclaimer. All information was researched by a TTRPG creator who was just fed up with slop. I am not a journalist. I'm not accusing anyone of doing anything wrong. I just read all this stuff. So I'm like, good. And we're not accusing anyone either, but we are reporting what somebody else reported, and they're not a reporter either. So
yeah, this is like third or fourth hand at this point. So we make no actual claims.
It's lack of journalistic integrity all the way down, right down to us,
as far as it goes.
But so Aaron Botter did a investigative blog post researching a thing called the Ultimate D&D Date Night Bundle. So first of all, what? I don't know. Ultimate D&D Date Night. Involving companies based in Romania and Dubai. So, I mean, no shade because we work with people all over the world. Sure. But, when you're sending money to somebody, you want to think about where are you sending it? Mm-hmm. Can you get it back if something goes wrong? And they were using MapsForge and RPG tabletops, and they had a sales volume over $1 million. So you can see what they're offering here, right? You can see that they've got I've lost it. I can't see my whole screen. Hold on a second here. Close the chat. They were offering a unforgettable adventure for 2 hearts, 3 romantic D&D 5e adventures, 2 stunning maps for every adventure, suitable for first-time D&D players, and a little emoji at the end, telling me that AI wrote this because AI puts emojis.
Oh God, what is with that? Yeah,
I don't know. There's just all these little things putting in the M dashes, which drives me nuts because I love the M dash.
It's a real thing. I mean,
it's a good thing. It's a sign of a good writer. But unfortunately, it's also anyway. So easy to run, playtime 2 to 3 hours, made by a couple that loves D&D.
Wait till you see the couple.
Oh boy, tokens and NPC sheets to dive into the narrative, the immersive date night soundtrack, bonus romantic event cards, sparks of intimacy and surprise, bonus 2 printable handouts, letters, clues, and keepsakes, and a New Year mystery gift included, delivered in 5 languages. 5 languages. All right, so they got apparently the first 2 languages are English and English.
Well, they got to have like the color and color.
Yeah, so they put American flag and a British flag because those are 2 different languages. And then the German flag, and then the Italian flag, and then the French flag.
Yeah.
And I just let you know, I was flying by the seat of my pants. I didn't check to see what the flags were. I'm like, can I identify them all?
You got it.
on the go.
You're on it.
And they were selling it not for $69, the nice price that it originally quote unquote was, but for $34. That's all it is. And I don't know what they were offering here. If these can't just be PDFs. It looks like they were physical things.
Looks like it.
All right. So here we have a little bit about this. Despite their thousands of reviews, I am seemingly the first to write one. I was about to send them another glowing review, but was unable to click the button. There was a link, but it just put me back on the homepage. Now, some of the other review buttons do work, but strangely, the number differs quite a bit. Suddenly, we're talking about 150 reviews instead of thousands. The numbers just do not add up. But what about the authentic reviews? Some of the reviews even left a few pictures. But it says, I did find it curious that some of these reviewers seem to use the same tablecloth.
Oh, yeah. Here, wait a minute. Look. Okay, look up here. So if you look at the top of the screen, you look at the one on the left and the one on the right. It's just colored differently. It's the same
tablecloth.
Yeah.
Okay, nice, so for these physical things.
Right.
So Shopify has a function called the compare at price, a random price you can compare your actual price with. You can essentially create a permanent fake discount. You never actually sell the product at the compare at price, so the comparison's worthless. So they're talking about, well, now it says 89 down to 44. We saw
Yeah.
69 down to 34 before.
Right.
But yeah, I mean that's not necessarily scammy. I mean, that's an old trick. You know, you
Right.
walk into the used car dealership and it says, this car on sale, instead of 8,000, it's only 5,000. It was never going to be 8,000. Okay,
Right.
fine. Okay, fine.
Right.
But then we see that they used AI to generate massive bundles of slop,
Mm-hmm.
including the maps, the art, and the text. Again, not necessarily the indication of a scam, just of a
Right.
loser.
Right.
But just face it, look, this is the TTRPG community. It is an industry in the sense that there are businesses, but it's really something we all do for fun.
Mm-hmm.
The joy is making this stuff. If you've got AI writing your stuff, you are a loser. I'm sorry, you're not a bad person. You're just a freaking loser.
Not only
Jesus
that,
Christ, can't you write your own damn game?
not only that, but the community has made it clear. I mean, the vast majority of the community, obviously not everybody, can't speak for
Right.
everyone.
Nobody will all agree about everything.
But a really good chunk of the community has expressed their distaste for AI. So if you're going to
That is
do
the zeitgeist.
yeah, if you're going to do AI, you should at least say it.
At the very, yeah, you have
and
to
then
just
let them
post it.
make their choice.
Yeah, those people who are willing to buy your AI images or your AI text or whatever, that is fine. Let them buy it, but let them know what they're doing. They're doing it.
Yeah.
But like I said, you know, this is supposed to be about the joy of making things. If you can't even make your own things, you're just a loser.
Yeah.
All right.
But check this out. Go ahead. Keep going.
Yeah. So these products are all, you know, full of AI stuff. And then
Talk
we
about
have
AI.
this dubious origin story with this AI photo of the quote unquote couple.
Yeah.
So
if you
first
look,
of all,
look at the screen, look.
you zoom in. I mean, it looks fake to begin with, but we'll talk about that. But first of all, you've got the zoom in here. On the bottom, you can see the woman's hand with her rings, and her fingers are kind of fusing into each other, and the rings are fusing into each other, and the fingers are oddly misshapen. They're kind of like ET.
Yeah. Now maybe she has a medical condition, but the real problem is, I mean, it doesn't look right. Okay.
No.
Maybe it's a medical condition.
Oh, no. Yeah. I mean, I'm not saying that it couldn't be, but those don't look like medical condition hands. Those look like AI hands.
They do. And the rings are, look, the ring on the middle finger doesn't even finish. It's not even a ring. It's just, it looks like a chunk of metal and something sitting on top of her finger.
Yeah. And it sort of blends into the ring on the index finger. And then the ring on her ring finger doesn't look like it completes either.
Well, not only that, but it looks like it's way up, like into her knuckle.
Yeah. It doesn't even look like it's on her hand anymore.
No.
Yeah. And you've pulled out the necklace that she's wearing that is weirdly blended into her shirt that just says D&D.
Yeah. I really want a cloaking necklace like that.
Yeah. Or a t-shirt that just goes D&D.
D&D.
And then who knows what his t-shirt is supposed to be. But I mean, if you just look at him, you can see like the skin doesn't quite look like real skin. Their expressions don't quite look like live humans. It's all that uncanny valley thing that AI has never managed to get past.
Right.
You know, yeah. If you're not expecting it, if you're not on your guard for it, you're not going to catch this, right? You might kind of look at it and think, huh. But you know, if you've seen a lot of this slop, and I don't know if we could see if we zoomed in on the book or not, but I'm guessing the book is probably a mess too. The one.
Yeah, this picture isn't high enough resolution for that, but yeah, I probably could have maybe. But
well, that's another protection for people that want to fake their stuff with AI. I mean, this is like that Willy Wonka. Was it a Willy Wonka experience in Scotland?
Oh, I don't know.
It was. I think it was a some Scottish promoter guy decided he was going to put on this big Willy Wonka experience and have all the kids come down and pay $50, but everything was AI generated, all the promotional materials for it. And then when they got there to the real thing, it was like a couple of, I don't know, it's just like a couple of plastic sheets on the floor and some like hand-drawn signs. And it was just a horrible, horrible thing.
Oh my God. That's creepy.
I mean, we even there's a bar that I want to check out. A new Irish pub opened up nearby. And I'm like, oh, it sounds kind of fun. but all of their stuff, they just keep using AI to fake, pictures of the bar. And I was
Mhm.
finally like, you guys, could you put up a real photo of the bar? I want to see if I'm going to come or not.
Right.
Luckily, they were like, oh, yeah, sorry, that was dumb of us. And they put up real photos and it looks like a fun bar.
Yeah.
But you never know. You never know what you're going to get.
Dude,
And
when
in this case,
I would travel a lot for work, that's what I would do. And everybody always is like, man, you're really good at finding cool places. It's like, I just go to the places, I look at the pictures, and you can tell from a picture if a place is a place you want to hang out.
yeah,
9
it's
times
really
out of 10. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, that is one of the really good things about Google and Yelp.
Mhm.
They're great at collecting people's photos. You get an idea of it. I don't read the reviews
No.
because the reviews are full of people who are mad. They give it a 1-star review because it was raining that day.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, my socks got wet.
Or my waiter was a jerk. Okay, that waiter was a jerk. Like,
Well, the funny thing is, if you look at a review where somebody says my waiter was a jerk, they usually say it about every place they go to. And
oh
you're
yeah,
like,
yeah, I guess,
I wonder who is the jerk.
I wonder who's the jerk, right?
All right, so let's see. Speaking of jerks, all right, so they used a lot of fraudulent tactics here. They were faking review counts. They had the fake, well, not fraudulent, but dubious tactics. The compare
Right.
at price was fake. The AI generated personas. They've been caught using AI to trace and restyle layouts of real maps.
Now that's bad stuff.
And Botter, the author of this, traced these operations back to an e-commerce scaling agency that uses the same templates for completely different things, like dementia therapy. And this is really sad.
That's evil. That's evil. That's evil.
Questionable dementia therapy.
That's evil.
It is. There's no two ways around it. That is literally the definition of evil in any philosophy, in any culture, in any religion, anything. That's it right there.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh my God. Taking advantage of people like that is, and the family members, that's just awful.
Yeah. Unbelievable. And so he's concluded that essentially that this whole thing is a scam, that these $1 million that they've somehow raised have basically just gone to nothing. I don't know what was ever delivered to anybody. Do you? Did anybody get anything?
I have no idea.
But I think this just kind of shows you, obviously it shows you what to watch out for. But I think in our industry, we've generally kind of felt that we had a little bit of what they call security through obscurity. Like we're not a big enough industry to mess with, and gamers aren't rich enough to bother scamming. Why not go scam the easy stuff like I don't know, selling fake coins to people, or selling there's this one company that sells fake passports. They call them world passports.
Oh my God.
Who want to be sovereign citizens. They're selling them for like $400. They're selling them a package of like sovereign citizen crap.
Oh, right. Okay.
Like that really works. Or selling them, I don't know, Trump University. No, they actually did that. Well, but yeah, those kind of scams.
Right.
We thought that in the gaming industry that we were kind of out of the way of that. But the thing is, anytime there's money getting spent, scammers are going to smell it.
Right.
They're starting to scam things on eBay. They're starting to sell fake counterfeit products on eBay. Now that there's a lot of PDFs of things, they're going, hang on a second, somebody will buy this rare book from the 70s. I'll make a fake version of it and sell it. There's fake TSR belt buckles that go out there. So our little cottage industry is not immune to the scammers smelling us and finding us and trying to steal from us.
Yeah.
So, when something looks good, investigate. Do not send your money anyplace that you're not sure of. In fact, I'm going to go so far as to say if you've never met the people at a gaming convention, or at least seen them there, don't buy from them.
Right.
Because you don't know if somebody is really in the industry, they're going to show up in person somewhere. It doesn't have to be someone who goes to every gaming convention, but at least find out, did this person show up somewhere? They had a photo taken of them. Somebody met them. They know they're a real person. It still doesn't protect you because there's still the Ken Whitmans of the world.
Yeah.
But it's a lot better than just saying, here's a neat thing I saw online.
Yeah, I was going to say there's other scammers in our industry that we're very familiar with.
We've met them face to face, and they're still scammers.
Right. Right.
But at least it's a little measure of protection to say, whoever you're buying stuff from, they must have shown up somewhere in person. Make sure that you've at least seen who they are.
Yeah.
But that's not going to protect you for good, but at least do that.
Let's go into a good story, a fun one.
Let's do it. This is
All
cool.
right.
This is not a scam.
No,
Although I'm going to tell you, this was inspired by what I thought was a scam, because I saw people selling these and as if they had invented them.
Yeah.
You know.
Right.
But you go ahead.
No, this is a simple story. It's very short. I mean, there's not a lot of, quote unquote story to this. This is sort of like just a cool thing that's out there, because this is not the only people that sell. Like, I didn't even pick a person because there's so many people who sell these. They're basically STL files. So it's a 3D file you can download and you can 3D print yourself. So you can 3D print these things and snap them together. And I'm pretty sure there's places like Etsy and stuff, or Etsy. I guess maybe.
Well, let's see if tell people what the thing is.
Oh, sorry. Yeah. So it's basically like a chain link type thing that you snap together, and they're measurement devices for minis. And each link, quote unquote link in the chain measures 5 feet on the game board.
If you're playing that normal mini 25 millimeter scale.
Yeah. And they're flexible. So they bend left and right, up to probably like 200 degrees or so. So you can go around corners, or, you could, let's say like in this picture, you got a chest in the corner and you got your figure, several squares over and several squares back. And it's like, well, how far is that really? Because there's some diagonal ones and some straight ones. And you could just throw this thing down and bend it to the where the thing is, and it'll give you the distance. Or if you wanted to run around something, you could tell how many that is to run around it.
Yeah, it's such a simple and obvious idea, and I can't believe I never even thought about it, never mind thinking of it, because since the dawn of wargaming, people have used rulers and measuring tapes to measure how far something is, especially in historical miniatures wargaming, where you don't use any hexes or grids. You
just have a board.
Yeah, so you just have to measure how far away is that thing. And then the next innovation was using laser pointers to make sure that you could actually have a direct line of fire. But what happens when you want to measure a distance that's not straight? I never thought about that. Here it is.
Yeah. And the thing is, you can pop these together and unpop them. So you could have this thing conceivably any length. Or if you wanted to fit it on a small board like this, you could just unpop part of it off and put it down and go, okay, this is where we are.
Yeah, it's such a cool thing. And like you were saying, anybody can just go and make them. They make their own.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. You can probably, it's probably like $5 to download this, and then couple bucks to print a long chain of it yourself. Yeah. I mean, it's more the waiting for your printer to finish than anything else.
Yeah. I mean, but that being said, so absolutely anybody can go and make their own. Not everybody has a 3D printer. So nope. I think you were saying we might just make some of these and bring them to TotalCon.
Yeah. I'm thinking about it. Just see if people want to buy them.
No problem with that. It's a freely available STL that's all over the place. And if somebody else was selling them right next to us, I would say fair play to them and buy them from whoever you want to. It's really just sort of a service and saying, we've made some of these for you, so you don't have to make your own if you'd like to buy them from us.
Yeah, I guarantee we're not going to make any money, like any real money off of them. It'd be just to sell something cool to people.
Oh, I don't know. I'm gonna sell them for $80 each, and then people will think they're really rare. And
right. It's $5 a link.
I guarantee you, if we priced those at $100 and somebody next to us had them for $5, somebody would come over and they'd be like, I better buy the good one.
Yeah. Oh my God. Isn't that like there's some kind of sales thing to that?
There's some psychology to that. We're not going
to do that. Works, but we're not going to do that. No. All right. I mean, that's it. That's it for that story.
All right. Let's go on to some steaminess.
Yeah.
From CL Poke. Okay. This is cool artwork. First of all, is this an official D&D product?
Yeah. That's what it's. Yeah.
So, because it's got the D&D logo right on the front.
That's what surprised me. You put this story up and I was like, oh, why are we talking about this? Like, oh my God, it's being put out by it's an official book. Holy shit. Okay.
So this is a book. This is not a game. This is a book. And it's by CL Poke called The Feywild Job. And I don't know if that's a little bit of a double entendre, the job.
Right.
I just saw one of my favorite comedians the other day. and she was doing a whole bit about like how come it is everything that women do during sex is a job.
Oh,
You know, an H
Oh.
job, B job.
yeah.
Yeah, I'm not going to go into all the lists because we're not family friendly, but we're not that family unfriendly.
Right, because
So I'm
we
like,
don't do jobs.
yeah, is it one of those?
Yeah. All right.
But yeah, so okay, so the for beautiful cover. First
Yeah,
of
it
all,
is. It's nice.
it's a couple sitting on a pair of joined tree branches, and the branches in the middle they have a little bit that comes together like when you put two hands together. It's nice. Flowers everywhere, and he's playing a violin, and there's a waterfall. It's a gorgeous cover, and it's obviously a romantasy, and I think the term is obvious, you know, romance fantasy. I don't know who CL Polk is. I haven't read their stuff before or heard of them, but that's okay. But it says here that they're a Nebula winning author and Nebula winning author of Even Though I Knew the End, which
Never
I don't know, but that's a good title for a book.
Yeah.
It's kind of like that book, John Dies at the End.
Yeah, right.
Which I still haven't read.
It's a good movie.
Is it?
Yeah. It's decent. I
die
mean,
at
it's not great. Oh yeah, of course he does.
Okay, good. So it's described as a cozy fantasy romance centered on a heist. Two bitter ex-lovers must team up to steal a magical gem called the Kiss of Enduring Love. And the protagonists, I didn't read any of these notes beforehand, so I'm going to hurry and make sure I pronounce everything right. The protagonists are Kel, a charming bard with a bruised heart, and Saldian, a warlock under a magical pact, never to fall in love. It's a rude pact.
That's a terrible pact.
Yeah, what kind of pact is that? Rude. But it's perfect for like a fairy tale.
Mm-hmm.
And it's set in the chaotic and whimsical plane of the Feywild. Scheduled for release this spring or summer. Is June in the spring or the summer? It's both, right?
It's both, yeah.
And it follows a broader trend of quote unquote horny or romantic themes becoming more mainstream in tabletop RPG culture, like Critical Role's Tusk Love.
I will say, you know, I'm friends with a bunch of authors, people like who actually put books into the market. And we've talked about, like what books sell and stuff like that. And genre books generally don't sell that much. Like we're familiar with it. Like our perspective is.
Well, what's a genre book?
Like fantasy, sci-fi.
Is romance a genre book?
No, romance is romance.
Okay,
romance is its own thing. So genre usually is like things like Star Trek or The Expanse or Conan. They don't actually sell that well. Like I mean, when you look at all book sales, right? They're a very small portion of the market. Now, we tend to think like that can't be true, right? Because that's all I read, right? Because that's what we read.
Sure.
But romance novels are one of the top selling books out there. And I'm like,
they can't get enough authors.
Yeah, I'm just like, I can't understand that. I can't bring myself to read a romance novel. Like, ugh.
Well,
that sounds awful to me.
I heard a whole podcast on This American Life about it. They went to a romance authors convention and everything. And you would think the first thing when you hear that they can't get enough authors, well, I'm just going to pump out a couple of romance books and make a mint.
Mm-hmm.
It's not that easy. It actually is a very difficult genre. There's formulas like any genre has, but the readers of these novels, they are critical. If you put out something that looks like it was just pumped out for the sake of, getting a romance novel out, they can tell.
Right. I don't know how they can tell. Here's the thing. I couldn't do it, right? Because I don't like reading those books. So I'd have to like really get into it to write it. And I can't get into it because I don't, you know what I mean? Like, so I couldn't do it.
I don't read that genre either, but if I think about it, there's a lot of books I like that have really good romantic subplots. Like, have you read 3 Hearts and 3 Lions?
No.
Probably one of the best fantasy novels ever written. It's in Appendix N.
Okay.
And I think it's Pal Anderson. I might be wrong. I'm embarrassed if I'm wrong, but whatever. The book is called 3 Hearts and 3 Lions, and there's a romantic subplot in it that I love so much. It always stuck with me. It's not a romantasy book, but I get it. If you find that thing that you can identify with and enjoy.
Oh, look, I don't mind a love story. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about when they get into the romance itself and they talk about what the two partners are doing.
Well, yeah, it gets steamy.
All that.
Sure.
I don't.
Yeah. But I mean, it's a very popular genre, and it makes
Yeah.
sense to, of all the things you're going to mix it with, fantasy seems to be the best.
Oh yeah, that seems right.
Because already, I mean, every Fabio cover kind of looked like a Frank Frazetta painting that he didn't paint.
Yeah, of
You
course.
know?
Of course.
It's interesting to see Wizards finally saying, yeah, we get this, but it is a big part of the audience. You know, if you look at the kind of things that people talk about in RPG TikToks and videos and all that, there's a lot of people who play the game because it's a chance for them to kind of live out a certain more romantic fantasy as opposed to a killing monsters fantasy. They're both fantasies if you think about it.
Sure.
You know.
Yeah.
So this happened.
Yeah.
I have a little bit of an issue with the font they chose for Feywild. I'm not super thrilled with that. But
Wait a minute, Jason, critical of a font? No.
Oh yeah, it's just that E is just way too cutesy. That I'm sorry, but the stem on the center of the E, I got problems with it. Other than that, it looks good.
All right. Now onto this one hit me. Wait,
here we have. Hello. We got the House of Books and Games, who, by the way, have another House of Books and Games mini convention coming up soon. I'll be running games at that. But yeah, Bert, one of the co-owners, says it is Powell Anderson, the 3 Hearts and 3 Lions. So go to House of Books and Games. If they have a copy of it, buy it from them.
All right, so somehow I don't have the last picture. I don't know why it didn't happen in the slides, but
it's all right. Everybody imagine a picture from Stranger Things.
Yeah, whatever.
Whichever your favorite moment of Stranger Things is, imagine that.
Well, this story revolves around when Will becomes.
Who's Will?
Will is one of the main kids. He's one of the 4 kids. He's the one that gets captured by the Demogorgon in the first episode of the first season. And
I don't remember that. Oh, he's the one. Okay, hold on. So I've only seen the first 2 episodes of the first season. So
he's the kid
one they were looking for that we never see. We don't meet him in the first episode.
Well, you kind of do. You see him for a few minutes. Like that's it. But that's it. He's not even in that. He's not in that season very much at all.
Okay. But you're saying he shows up later. Interesting.
Yeah. So in the last season, there's. If I'm spoiling this for you, you're not really that much of a Stranger Things.
Spoiler alert for anybody that hasn't finished Stranger Things. Stop listening now. If you're like me and never plan to watch it, listen away.
Right. And I'm not giving away the ending or anything. This is just.
I don't care if you do.
It's a key point. So we
never know. We never do find out who kills Tony Soprano at the end, or if he even dies.
Right. No, we don't. We never.
So there
never
you go. There's Stranger Things for you.
Right. Anyway, so he gains these powers over the Demogorgons and over Vecna himself. And then so when that happens, they're just like, they used to call each kid has like their class is what they refer to each other as. It's like 11, so she has the superpower. She's the mage. And
wait, hang on. Do they actually say mage?
I'm trying to remember.
I already have an issue, but let's.
Or maybe they call her a wizard. No, she's
still have an issue.
They don't call her the magic user. See, that's the thing.
So right off the bat, they don't call her a magic user, so they don't know anything.
Right, exactly. And so that's the problem here. So when they're talking about him, they say that he is
Sorcerer.
They call him a wizard, I believe.
I thought they called him a sorcerer.
No, they called him a warlock. Sorry. Will Byers, it says here, Will's power source. The author argues that Will Byers' powers are more accurately described by the warlock class, as he gained them through a pact or a connection with a powerful supernatural being rather than through the innate birthright. Except I think one of the characters was calling him a sorcerer.
Well, it doesn't matter. There's no sorcerers and there's no warlocks in D&D.
But here's the problem, right? This takes place in 1985. Neither one of those two things exist yet.
No, 85 is still first edition and Mensa Redbox.
Right.
So if you're using Dragon Magazine, you could have some alternate NPC classes. And yes, there was a warlock somewhere in there, but these were not the way you're describing.
No, and there was a couple other errors too. Like, and I didn't pick up on these earlier in the show because they'd used the term rogue.
Yep.
Not
thief. The thief.
And they used, like I said before, they used wizard. So they used wizard for L instead of magic user.
Mm-hmm.
And it just bothers me because, most of the other stuff was pretty dead on. Like they got most everything else right. Like
Okay.
they were pretty accurate with everything else. I mean, like all the 80s stuff was really accurate too.
I don't know if it was or not.
I think it was. I mean, I remember the glasses they were drinking out of. We had those. I
Yeah.
remember the friggin' wallpaper. Like, I'm just saying, I'm just like, oh, I've seen that wallpaper. We
Okay.
drank, we had those glasses,
Yeah.
you know. So they were, I mean, you know, the music was all pretty accurate. I even checked because like there was a couple songs they had. I'm like, that wasn't then. And I looked at it, I was like, oh god damn, it was. So
Okay.
they were
Okay.
pretty accurate on a lot of it.
But I can say, even if I could have sat through those horrible kids and that horrible character that Winona Ryder plays, and I don't know how anybody sits through this show because everybody on there is just unbearable. I don't like a single damn person.
All right.
But I mean, they're just horrid. Oh,
kids.
Yeah, I know, but I mean, couldn't they show kids that are not? I mean, yes, real kids are horrid. That's why, aside from it being weird as hell, I don't hang out with kids.
Right.
I mean, but you know, but then if they started doing things like just wildly throwing around 5th edition D&D stuff, no, I wouldn't even be able to keep the TV on.
So let's see. And then, you know, they initially had named like what's this say? Sorcerer Bert thing. Bert, oh, sorry, here we go. House of Books and Games says
Bert thinks WotC played a nutload of cash to use the current touch. I wouldn't be surprised if
maybe
that was intentional. Maybe WotC did play it.
Yeah, maybe.
And Brian is calling me, I'm assuming me, Judgy Judgerson tonight. I will gladly take that title. I am happy to be Judgy Judgerson because good things should exist and dumb things should also exist but be made fun of.
So Brian, you've met Jason then.
Yes.
So
no, you know, the people there is this sort of idea that you should never criticize something because somebody else might like it, right?
Right. I don't like that.
There's a very cringy phrase for it. Don't yuck someone else's yum.
Right.
First of all, I'm going to say right now, the word yum and yummy, those are for toddlers. Use those words when speaking with a toddler, not with an adult. You are presumably an adult speaking to an adult. Use adult words. It is perfectly legitimate to criticize things that you don't like. In fact, to actively hope that they go away, because there are things that it is a zero-sum game. You can get to a place where something stupid pushes out the good thing and you only get the stupid thing after that because there's only so much money to make stuff.
Right.
So yeah, if you like something, you should advocate for it as hard as you can. And if you don't like something, you should advocate against it as hard as you can. It is your duty as a consumer in a modern capitalist society to yell about everything you love and everything you hate so that everybody else agrees with you. That's the rules.
And you know, I mean, you know firsthand, I like what I like and I don't give a fuck what anybody says, right? Yeah. Like I'm sitting there drinking my beer that I like and Jason is just shitting all over it.
Oh, absolutely. Like, I will continue to. And I have to, because if I don't, hops could take over the world. I must protect the malty beers.
And here's the thing. I don't care. Right. You don't like it. I don't give a shit. You're not drinking it. I am.
Somewhere out there's a 12-year-old about to have their first beer, and I need to mock them if they pick up the wrong one.
That's awesome. So then they, so another thing that came out from all this was that one of the other comments was that the show started like forcing some stuff from D&D into it just to like bring it around. Like the kids were always trying to turn everything into a D&D term somewhere. Yeah. Like the monsters, like the Demogorgon. It doesn't really look like a Demogorgon. That's what they called it. And that wasn't its official name. That was the name the kids gave it. You know, and then you had Vecna and you had the Mind Flayer, and the Mind Flayer looked nothing like the Mind Flayer, but it did control.
The Mind Flayer should just look like Cthulhu with the serial numbers rubbed off.
It didn't look like that, but
what did it look like?
It kind of looked like if you took like maybe a 5 or 6 legged spider, like big long legs, some kind of insect,
like
or
daddy
something,
long legs,
with like a big like alien like head.
Okay, like from the movie Alien.
Like from the movie Alien, not exactly, but the shape.
Yeah, and then when you went like this with you pulling your hands around, I figured you meant like Alien the movie.
But then it's got to be like 60 feet tall.
So it's like a 60-foot tall H.R. Geiger kind of daddy long legs.
Something like that. Yeah.
Which, I mean, to be fair, a Mind Flayer, we only think of it as looking like Cthulhu because it's drawn that way.
Yeah.
But
Now it
but
did
hold
control
on a
people's
second. So a
minds.
mind flayer, a mind flayer is a psionic
Yes.
beast
Yeah.
that will tear your mind to shreds.
hmm So it
You're
was
not going
doing
to
that.
you're not going to survive an encounter with a mind flayer. You're just not, unless you are a high level actual D&D character.
Well, it wasn't tearing people's minds apart, but it was controlling them. It was possessing them. Um, and it was
Okay.
from another world.
Okay. Well,
So
whatever. Close enough. Whatever.
close enough. Yeah. But the Vecna thing was a bit of a push
Yeah.
because it was just a guy who was a victim of the mind flare himself.
That's lame. That's
Right.
lame. I don't know. I guess maybe Stranger Things was a victim of its own success in the sense that WotC saw what they were. I don't think WotC was involved at the beginning, were they? When they first did the show?
Not at all.
They sort of just hopped on that train.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
I think
And-
so. I think so. I mean, I don't know for sure, but I think so.
You know what though? Good for WotC. Smart of them to do it.
It was the best thing that happened to him. I'll tell you that.
Yeah. And as much as I dislike the show itself for myself to watch, I'm happy that yet another popular show in the year of our Lord 2025, 2026 is continuing to tell people that the 1980s was the decade to be in. Because, I mean, think about this. Nostalgia in the past was a much different thing. In the 1970s, people had nostalgia for the 50s, only 20 years ago. That's like us having nostalgia for right when the iPhone came out.
Yeah.
Right. So you
Right.
do a TV show now that was like Happy Days.
Mhm.
And what in Happy Days, they went back in the 50s. If you did a Happy Days now, they'd be using their brand new iPhone that just came out.
Right.
That's
It would be later than Friends.
Yeah. Yeah. Friends would be for Friends is World War II.
Yeah.
Friends
Friends
the
would be
70s.
right. Yeah.
You know, so here we are, 2 entire generations separated from it, and we still can't let go of the 80s, which, you know, as somebody who remembers the 80s, I'm all for.
Yeah. 80s was great.
I mean, haha, screw you, millennials who are never going to get their nostalgia.
You know, it's apparently from what I read, it was the internet that actually kind of killed this the structural changes from decade to decade.
Tell me more.
Well, because prior to the internet, you had individual companies creating, you know, like iconographic looks and stuff like that,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And so there was this really hard control on what everything looked like and sounded like. Record companies controlled all the records.
Yeah, there's a small number of companies that were doing all the stuff.
And they did all the marketing and they did all the style design. And so everything was kind of held by a small handful
It's a
of people.
pretty homogenous corporate culture.
Right. And then, of course, they had to change things as time went on because they wanted you to buy new clothes and they wanted you to buy new records. And they wanted to buy
the
new
entire
things.
point of having a fashion, people don't actually change their tastes that quickly. If it was the year 1540, people wouldn't be going, boy, you remember what 1520 was like and how we wore completely different caps?
Right.
Because there was no capitalist corporate culture going, oh my gosh, we have to sell a new kind of hat. Quick, tell them the old hat's out of style.
Exactly. So then when the internet comes along and anyone can sell stuff from anywhere, right? There's just so much stuff that can be sold in so many different styles and so many different things that you just get this kind of like this like sea of, you know, quantum foam, you know, where like everything just kind of blends together. So it's like, are we all wearing different stuff? We are, but we're all wearing different stuff. So then it all homogenizes into one kind of sea of stuff.
And with the internet, everybody has access to everything.
Right.
It seems so normal now that, you know, if you hear the other day, I was trying to find some new TV shows to watch. So I did a bunch of research, found some shows I wanted to see from all these different decades. And I just took it for granted that I'd be able to go and find those shows and watch them. And I was able to get them all within an hour.
Oh, you were? Okay. So you were.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay. No big deal. I mean, some of them legally, some of them otherwise.
Okay. I was going to say, because they've pulled some of them.
Yeah, but they're all out there somewhere.
Yeah.
And I remember in, I don't know, the 80s or something, I was reading a Douglas Adams book and thinking about Wowbagger, the infinitely prolonged, who had accidentally become immortal and had to find something to do for all of eternity and had watched every TV show in history, 1,000 times. And I thought, as a kid, can you imagine a world where you could just watch any show? You could just watch it. And that seemed like the most insane sci-fi idea. And now we take it for granted.
Yeah.
So now everybody has access to everything ever created in media, at least those things that weren't destroyed from any decade. And the 70s or the 50s or the 40s or the 90s or the 2010s all kind of blend into, like you said, one big foam. And so people take their influences from anywhere. And that's, I think, why it is. A lot of people have remarked that every decade used to have its own identity. And since the year 2000, they don't really seem, the 2000s, the 2010s, the 2020s, you have to really think hard to define anything different about them.
Yeah. If I was dressed in style from the year 2000 and walked into your home, you wouldn't go, wow, look at that guy.
As long as it wasn't like a weird, super trendy style that was just for the moment.
But if I was wearing like something that anybody could be wearing at that
normal
time,
person clothes,
normal person clothes, you wouldn't even know. You wouldn't notice.
But if you stepped in from the 50s, the 60s, the 70s, absolutely, I could tell you which decade it was.
Yeah.
But if you show me somebody from the past 26 years, no idea. No idea. The only way to tell the difference between 20 years ago and today is check the styling on the cars, and it's still pretty subtle, or check the phone they're using.
Right. I mean, that's the only way. Like when you're watching a movie, sometimes you can tell, oh my God, this was made before 2009 because
they don't have an iPhone.
Right.
Yeah.
Now, I mean, like if you came in wearing a Britney Spears t-shirt, that might set it off.
It could be ironic.
Could be ironic. Although I'm seeing, and this should it piss me off when I see like an 18-year-old kid wearing a Misfits t-shirt, knowing they don't listen to Misfits?
Not in the slightest, because think of it this way. Let's assume this 18-year-old kid doesn't know who the Misfits are.
Right.
With or without the t-shirt, they still would not know who the Misfits are.
Okay. Fair
but
enough.
With the t-shirt, at some point they might go, I wonder whose t-shirt I'm wearing, and look them up.
Maybe. Okay.
So, either way, they don't know who they are, but at least this way, there's a chance they might find out who they are.
Right.
Again,
so I shouldn't go poser.
No, not in the I mean, that's so lame when you see somebody say, go up to someone and be like, hey, name a song from that band. Okay, so you've just basically ensured that this person wearing the t-shirt will actively never listen to the band because you were such a dick to them about it.
Right.
But if you go, like, let's say you see some kid wearing a Joy Division t-shirt, because everybody's got a Joy Division t-shirt. Be like, that's an awesome t-shirt. My favorite song is Transmission. Have you ever heard it? That's cool. Then they can go, no, I've never heard it. Yeah, you should check it out sometime. Have a good day. Right. End of. Then maybe the kid goes, maybe I'll listen to the song.
Yeah.
I mean, there was a interview not an interview, it was like a panel show, and it had Morrissey and George Michael and somebody else were the three people on the show. This was in 1985. A book had just come out about Joy Division. And the three people on the panel were talking about it. One of them was a music journalist who was an idiot, because they are. But George Michael and Morrissey were actually having a debate about it. And Morrissey's like, I never really saw what was so special about Joy Division. And George Michael of Wham is like, you don't understand how great Joy Division was. Let me tell you why.
Oh, well, kudos for him.
Right? I mean, you never know where you're going to get, you're going to see some influence from. And it's amazing. Everybody should just accept the fact that there's a lot of influences that show up in places you would never expect.
Yeah.
I mean, I just saw an interview with Susie Sue from 1985. Again, I guess my YouTube algorithm knows what to do.
Right.
And the interviewer was like, what are your three desert island artists? Like the three artists you would, if you could have no other artists you'd ever listen to. And she was like, War. They did that song. I forget what's War's big song. Anyways, War is a band from the 60s.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember.
And the next one was Roxy Music, not too big of a surprise. And the next one was Prince.
Oh, cool. Good for
like,
her.
Oh, Prince is kind of a hero to you. And Susie's like, Prince is my hero.
Nice.
And it's like all these little goths were probably having their heads explode. Like,
Prince was
she likes
awesome.
Prince. Yeah.
Prince was awesome.
So everybody wear t-shirts you don't know the names of and find out later.
Right.
And that's why Stranger Things got the sorcerer wrong.
Mm-hmm. pretty much. To wrap the whole thing up, right?
We are not a scripted show.
No, not at all. Hope you enjoyed that little tangent.
Yeah. Just see me for more tangents.
Right. So,
that could be a new game show. Just make Jason go on a tangent. Give me a word and see where I go with it.
hey, you got 4 days to do it coming up. I'm
There
sure
you
there's going
go.
to be
Come and
plenty
see
of
us at
tangents.
Page. I'm going to be stuck at the booth most of the time. Say a random word to me and see where I go with it.
Right. Hey, speaking of which, tell everybody what you're running at Page.
Oh, yeah. So I'm going to be running Top Secret, of course.
Mhm.
And it is a mission that we have not planned to put out, but I think we will put out because it's been a big hit at all the conventions. A little different for us. It's called Damn Good Minivan. So agents are all going undercover as parents in Des Moines, Iowa, to stop a terrorist threat aimed at the heartland. So I will have my Matchbox minivans there to play with, and I hope people will. Well, the games are already sold out, actually, but I hope people will have a good time.
And it's funny because like you wrote that because you were looking at a minivan. You said it's a damn good minivan.
That literally, I just said that is a damn good mini because it was a Nissan Quest, which I used to have. It is a damn good minivan, only the second generation. And I was like, damn good minivan. I bet that could be an adventure.
Right. It's kind of like when you say a phrase, you're like, oh, that'd be a great band name.
Yeah. And then you start the band, and the next thing you know, for the rest of your life, you're known as the Suicidal Tendencies.
Yeah.
The Dead Milkmen.
Oh, the Dead Milkmen. I love the Dead Milkmen so much.
Yeah.
Let me get your opinion on this real quick. So for my acid reflux and stuff, I'm on a new medicine called Protonics, and I was like, that would be such an awesome punk band name.
Well, I think Protonics is probably the name of the Daft Punk album that was never released.
Oh, maybe. Okay. But it's totally it's a medicine. It's totally
but either a video game that kills you when you play it, or it's a Daft Punk album that was found in a bin somewhere.
Right. Yeah, and I'm going to be running. So it's funny because we had to reserve for Page because Ron kicked it off. I think like 5 seconds after Page 2 ended, you had to sign up for your events, and so I picked one of the events. I was like, oh, I'll write a thing for it. It's Operation Silent Harbor. It's out of the Korea book, right? So out of the world book I have up on the Patreon. You guys should go back it. And so I took one of the little mini adventures that I put in there. I put in these it's literally just like half a page just talking about how to do an adventure in South Korea. And I got like 5 of them in there. But so a couple days ago, I was like, oh shit, I never actually wrote that out. Like I have the idea. I mean, I know what it's about, but I don't actually have an adventure. So that's some of my this weekend was been like putting that together so I could run it for people.
Well, here's a plot hook for anybody running a adventure in Korea. I didn't realize this, but recently Hyundai has purchased Boston Dynamics.
Oh yeah, I knew that. Yeah, I knew that.
I didn't. And so they released the first proper, actual, for sale in the market, working today humanoid robot.
Wow.
And it's good. I mean, this isn't Tesla's like dress a guy up in a suit and make him do a stupid dance thing. Right. This is a real practical. It's for industrial use because sometimes it helps to be able to pick something up with your hands robot. So basically, if you're doing a adventure in Korea, put a lot of robots in it because that's where the world is being led by right now.
Yeah, that's a good idea. Maybe this one doesn't really lend itself to that, but I could put one in there. That might be kind of fun.
Well, we have a robot that is available only on the Patreon, which is a robotic horse that we will put into something at some point soon. But we have a robotic horse on the Patreon that you can go and get right now.
Yeah. And then I'm also running, I had this fun little side project I did with More Blood, which I call More Dungeons. And it was a test to see if I could do the same thing with a fantasy campaign that I did with More Blood. And it's basically just, the super basic boiled down D&D type character. And the idea was, wouldn't it be cool if you had a game where all it was about was just going into dungeons and killing monsters and getting treasure? No experience, no leveling up, no campaign. It's literally just, hey, we're going to play tonight, a little one shot. And it was supposed to be easily convertible to any module you have. Like I wouldn't never release modules for this. It would just be like, take Tomb of Horrors and play more dungeons in it. So I'm running that on Sunday.
And Brian here in the chat says he actually has that robot horse in one of his adventures. So
we'll
have to talk about this in the Discord afterwards. And find out more about the horse. So if you are a Patreon backer, at any of the paid levels, you have access to the Discord, and you can join us for the after party.
Right.
Anything's good if you call it a party.
Sure. Right.
I'm gonna have a laundry party later.
Right.
Come on over for my t-shirt folding party.
Right.
But yeah, come over to the Patreon, come over to the Discord afterwards and say hi to us. We will be there in about 10 minutes.
Yep.
All right. So that's it for the show tonight. See us at Page, like us on YouTube, subscribe to us on YouTube, review us on Apple Podcasts, and hand us $5 bills when you see us in person.
Yeah. Or buy me beers. I like that.
All right. Good night, everybody.